Mayor and council members, I want to thank you for allowing us to be here today to recognize our firefighters. Each year, the Mesquite Fire Department honors its employees through presentation of awards for superior public service to our citizens. This year, we honor over 70 individuals for their professional service to the community. I would like to first recognize members for 2 awards involving physical fitness and attendance. Our citizens rely on us to be in shape and at work in order to serve them to the best of our ability. One of the ways we measure a firefighter's physical ability to perform is an evaluation called the Physical Ability Test, or PAT. This test is mandatory for every fire department member up to and including the fire chief. The PAT is a series of consecutive tasks directly related to what we do on a given day. It is performed under a running clock and measures flexibility, strength, anaerobic capacity, and technique. Those members posting times designated as optimal for their age group are awarded the Physical Ability Test Fitness Bar. This past year, we tested half of our department, about 110 members. Of those 110 tested, I am proud to tell you that 49 fire department members earned this fitness award. Of these 49 members, 21 are receiving it for the second time and 15 are receiving it for the third time. Congratulations to these members. The Attendance Merit Bar is given to members of the Mesquite Fire Department who have a perfect attendance record throughout a calendar year and subsequent calendar years beyond the first. Perfect attendance is defined as no work time lost due to sick leave, family sick leave, personal leave, or any absence without pay. This year, we had 9 members achieve perfect attendance. Among those, 3 have achieved it for the second time, and 1 has achieved it for the third time. Congratulations to each of these members. The Fire Service Life-Saving Bar is awarded to any firefighter who is directly responsible for saving a human life. Directly responsible shall mean that the firefighter took an active role in the emergency, participated to a level consistent with his or her training, and contributed to the team effort that resulted in a life saved. Life-saving may include situations where a person is suffering from a serious medical condition or from major trauma. The committee may consider any situation where a great potential for fatality was avoided as a result of the actions of a firefighter. The incident under consideration must result in a conclusion where the surviving victim has been discharged from the hospital. This year, we have also included the dispatcher from each run. On many of the CPR calls, paramedics arrive to find a family member or friend already performing CPR on the patient. This is due to the quick reaction and training of our dispatchers. They give step-by-step instructions while maintaining a calm demeanor that gives the patient a better chance of surviving the event. Our dispatchers are the first contact made in an emergency and are true heroes. We have 8 life-saving awards to present this year. Our first life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Ambulance 5, Firefighter Paramedic Dustin Rhodes and Firefighter Paramedic Caleb Shelowitz. Dispatcher Officer Marcus Rodriguez. On January 9th, 2021, Ambulance 5 was dispatched to an injured person call. After they helped the patient up, his chest started swelling on one side and he began having trouble breathing. Ambulance 5 confirmed the patient had a tension pneumothorax and a chest needle decompression was required. The needle decompression caused the patient to have instant relief, and his oxygen saturation improved to 98% on room air. After delivering the patient to Baylor Hospital, the ER doctor complimented the ambulance crew, telling them that the decompression needle was in the perfect place and that they had done an excellent job. Please join me in recognizing these members for a job well done. Our next life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Engine 6. Lieutenant Paramedic Jesse Kingery, Driver Engineer Paramedic David Trent, Firefighter Paramedic Stephen Snell, and Firefighter Paramedic Craig Kane. From Ambulance 6, Firefighter Paramedic Jack London and Firefighter Paramedic Landon Gregory. Dispatcher Officer Chelsea Wilcox. Early May 7, 2021, Ambulance 6 was dispatched to an unconscious person. They arrived to find a 59-year-old patient who was pulseless and had agonal respirations. The crew administered advanced life support interventions, including CPR, medications, and cardiac monitoring with 7 defibrillations. The crew remained on scene over 20 minutes, providing essential care to this patient. The patient was transported to Dallas Regional Medical Center and was taken to the cath lab and treated. This patient remained in the hospital for 1 week, then went on to rehab for 2 weeks. She was discharged with a life vest and a rolling walker. The patient is now home, continuing to improve, suffering no neurodeficits, and even worked a children's summer camp from home online. Please help me recognize these Mesquite Fire Department members for giving this patient another chance at life. Our next life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Engine 3. Captain Paramedic Tash Even, Driver Engineer Paramedic Bobby Bryant, Firefighter Paramedic Steve Jones, and Firefighter EMT James McCoy. From Ambulance 3, Firefighter Paramedic Jonathan Wright and Firefighter Paramedic William Rosen. Dispatcher Officer Jack File. Late September 5, 2021, Ambulance 3 was dispatched to a respiratory difficulty. Upon arrival, they found an elderly patient with agonal respirations whose family member was attempting to keep from falling. Initial assessment found no pulse and CPR was initiated. CPR and advanced life support interventions continued until a pulse was recovered. Patient was stabilized and transported to City Hospital. In the emergency department, the patient became alert, yet continued to need stabilization and intubation. This patient improved each day with treatment and was discharged home on September 11, 2021. Please help me recognize these Mesquite Fire Department members for their quick response that gave this patient the best chance of survivability. Our next life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Engine 6. Captain Paramedic Israel Guy, Driver Engineer Paramedic Paul Craig, Driver Engineer Paramedic James Baldwin, and Driver Engineer Paramedic Casey Vestal. From Ambulance 6, Firefighter Paramedic Bradley Hurt, and Firefighter Paramedic Roderick Livingston. Dispatcher Omega Waynes. September the 8th, 2021, Ambulance 6 and Engine 6 were dispatched to an unconscious person. They arrived to find the patient unresponsive, not breathing, and without a pulse. CPR was initiated, including advanced life support medications. Return of spontaneous circulation was achieved on the scene, and the patient began breathing on their own. Patient was then transferred to the hospital. The patient was discharged for rehab on September 17, 2021. Please join me in recognizing these members for a job well done. Our next life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Engine 5. Captain Paramedic Keith Hopkins, Lieutenant Paramedic Jacob Hisey, Driver Engineer Paramedic Wayne Lassiter, and Firefighter Paramedic Connor Lawrence. From Ambulance 5, Firefighter Paramedic Kyle Cresta, and Firefighter Paramedic Isaac Joseph. From the Mesquite Police Department, Officer Teresa Seguinza, Dispatcher Mindy Jones. Late evening on October 4th, 2021, Ambulance 5 and Engine 5 were dispatched to an unconscious person, arriving on the scene to find Officer Seguinza performing CPR. Paramedics took over CPR, administering a single shock and resuming CPR. At the next rhythm check, the patient was found to have a strong pulse and monitor showed sinus rhythm. During transport, the patient began breathing with progressive improvement, and at transfer to the hospital, the patient regained consciousness and was communicating with the crew. The patient was then taken to the cath lab where they received 2 stents and was discharged home on October 6, 2021. Please help me recognize these Mesquite Fire Department members for giving this patient another chance at life. Our next life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Engine 5. Captain Paramedic Kenneth Crawford, Driver Engineer Paramedic Matthew Cope, Firefighter Paramedic Justin Turner, and Firefighter Paramedic Darnell Brundage. From Ambulance 5, Firefighter Paramedic Dustin Rhodes, and Firefighter Paramedic Caleb Shalowitz. Dispatcher Kelly Liptrap. Late evening on November 17, 2021, Ambulance 5 and Engine 5 were dispatched to a respiratory emergency and arrived to find a patient unresponsive and pulseless. Bystanders were performing CPR. Return of spontaneous circulation was achieved prior to arrival at the hospital. The patient was discharged home 4 days later on November 21st, 2021. Please join me in recognizing these members for a job well done. Our next life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Engine 1. Lieutenant Paramedic Jacob Hisey, Driver Engineer Paramedic Michael Small, and Firefighter EMT Leon Wilson. From Ambulance 7, Firefighter Paramedic Justin Bunting, and Firefighter Paramedic Brett Phillips. From the Mesquite Police Department, Officer Anthony Arredondo, Dispatcher Amanda Sanders. On November 21st, 2021, Ambulance 7 and Engine 1 were dispatched to a respiratory call where a 63-year-old male was choking. Upon arrival, Officer Arredondo was already on scene with the patient. Officer Arredondo had moved the patient to the floor and onto his side. Engine 1 and Officer Arredondo moved the patient to a larger room for assessment. Engine 1 assessed the patient to find him unresponsive with agonal respirations, and he was bluish-purple from the neck up. The patient had an initial oxygen saturation of 41%. Engine 1 used a laryngoscope to try to visualize the obstruction, but the patient gagged. Engine 1 then attempted to use suction since nothing was viewed. The patient gagged again, and a 2x2 piece of chicken fried steak came up and was removed. The patient then became responsive and was awake, able to communicate to Engine 1 that he was no longer choking. Oxygen was placed on the patient while his oxygen saturations were increasing. The patient was transported out of precaution to Dallas Regional and was alert and oriented with no complaints upon arrival. Please help me recognize these Mesquite Fire Department members for their quick response that gave this patient the best chance at survivability. Our next life-saving award will be presented to the following members from Engine 2. Lieutenant Paramedic Travis Block, Firefighter Paramedic David Williams, and Firefighter Bryce Nail. From Ambulance 2, Firefighter Paramedic Alex Craig, and Captain Paramedic David Ivey. Dispatcher Kelly Liptrap. On November 24th, 2021, Ambulance 2 and Engine 2 responded to a report of shortness of breath. Upon EMS arrival, the patient had become unresponsive and hypoxic with poor perfusion. The crew quickly began interventions and initiated transport. En route to the hospital, the patient lost a pulse and CPR was initiated. Return of spontaneous circulation was achieved, and the patient was transferred to the hospital emergency department staff with a pulse and spontaneous respirations. The patient was admitted to ICU, progressed to inpatient unit November 28, 2021, and was discharged to a skilled rehab facility for pulmonary rehab and overall recovery on November 30th of 2021. Please join me in recognizing these members for a job well done. Our next award will be the 2022 Paramedic of the Year. The Paramedic of the Year award is given to an outstanding paramedic who consistently demonstrates professional excellence in the emergency medical services, moral integrity, leadership, and commitment to provide quality EMS services to the citizens of Mesquite. This year's Paramedic of the Year is Firefighter Paramedic Jonathan Wright. Jonathan started his career with the Mesquite Fire Department on January 30th, 2017. He has received a life-saving award and has received the Attendance Award 3 times. Jonathan is an exceptional paramedic. He displays professionalism and skill and always treats his patients with kindness and respect. He consistently maintains a positive mindset and attitude at the station and throughout the entire shift, even on those late after midnight calls. When it's time to train or run through a scenario, he is often first in line to put his skills to the test, and he always offers up positive ideas, input, and suggestions. He is also currently serving as a proctor for our paramedic intern. Lastly, Jonathan brings humor to our group. Whether it be telling a good joke or an old Marine story, he keeps us laughing and entertained, which is valuable in our stressful work environment. Please join me in honoring Jonathan Wright as the 2022 Mesquite Fire Department Paramedic of the Year. Our next award will be the 2022 Officer of the Year. The Officer of the Year is given to an outstanding officer for demonstrating commitment in a leadership position and for serving as a positive role model both on and off duty. Our 2022 Officer of the Year is Captain Paramedic Matthew Haston. Matthew began working for the Mesquite Fire Department on July 25, 2007. In 2014, he promoted to driver engineer. 2017, promoted to lieutenant, and in 2020, he promoted to captain. Matthew has received 7 life-saving awards, the PAT Fitness Award, and the Attendance Award 2 times. Matthew has shown great leadership at both fire scenes and at the station. He is very knowledgeable in all areas of firefighting and vehicle extrication. He is consistently thinking of practical training for his crew. Captain Haston has served on the interview panel this past year and is on the committee to make decisions for the new Station 2. Matthew has also spent countless hours researching and leading the way to get future equipment ordered early. His dedication and positive attitude has been an asset to his entire station. Please join me in honoring Matthew Haston as the 2022 Mesquite Fire Department Officer of the Year. Our final award for the evening is the Firefighter of the Year. The Firefighter of the Year is given to an outstanding firefighter who consistently demonstrates professional excellence, moral integrity, and an abiding commitment to provide quality service to the citizens of Mesquite. The 2022 Mesquite Fire Department Firefighter of the Year is Driver Engineer Paramedic Eric Wright. Eric started his career with the Mesquite Fire Department August 15 of 2011. He received his paramedic certification in February of 2013 and promoted to driver engineer on May 24, 2020. Eric exemplifies the driver position. He knows his district, his apparatus, and his job. At the station, he is known as the go-to guy on anything fire-related, especially if it has to do with tools on the engine. His skill set and previous experience are highly valued and relied upon. He spends his free time around the station going through training videos and reading books just to keep his skills sharp. It is clear that he is dedicated to his job and wants to be the best version of himself at what he does. On runs, no one exemplifies more professionalism than he does. After a fire incident, he is the first to discuss what we learned from the call and how to improve the next time. On medical calls, he has excellent bedside manner, and his confident demeanor and personality help the whole team with both routine and challenging emergencies. Driver engineer Eric Wright also serves as a role model for our younger firefighters. As a team member and station mentor, it is a pleasure to recognize Eric Wright as the 2022 Mesquite Fire Department Firefighter of the Year. This concludes our presentation. I would like to thank the Mayor, the City Council, and the City Manager for their continued support of the Mesquite Fire Department. Thank you.